Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Journey. Today's video, we're just going to be kind of live streaming. Want to chill on a Sunday. You can see the game visually stunning, amazing. Now, majority of players have had difficulty making progression in this game, and I am not above that. I have been struggling with progression. Essentially, I get into a new zone. As you see, as of this morning, we got into the Remnant Peaks 1. So we have a lot of battles to go through here. And essentially, you can go through, you can do the main quest right now, and then you hit a wall because, of course, the remaining of the quest is locked behind, essentially, behind these fiends right now, 750 to 790. So I have to gain 40 AFK levels to actually move into the second zone. And of course, the summons have been incredibly difficult to get through here, especially if you are free to play. I know there's been a lot of struggles. Even if you're not a whale, incredibly difficult to get through here. And I want to do some summons in here. I want to make some progression. What is going on? Soul joining me again after the AFK stream. Puckle Bear and Veldir is here as well. Thank you guys for joining me. It's going to hop on. I was going to play a little bit of AFK Journey. Just figured I'd go ahead and live stream it. That way, if you got questions, you can throw them up in the chat. We can go ahead and knock those out. Now, of course, when we start in here, we first get into AFK, and look at that, guys, a 160 and a 155. Even though those might be recycled, this is what we're looking at. And very similar to AFK Arena, the essence is the wall that everybody is hitting. Period. It is incredibly difficult to get through, essentially because of the essence. But little by little, you can see right here where we're at right now, little over 2,000 a day with regular gameplay. We're getting one single advancement on a hero pretty much every single day with a grind. Now, of course, we're already, like I was saying, it shows 750 here, which I'm not sure exactly why, because there's some, as you can see on the bottom, 3 different sets of stages. Sometimes it seems to advance when I complete a stage. Sometimes for whatever reason, it doesn't seem to advance. So I'm not sure exactly kind of the build out there, but I've been running Odie and Merrily in here as well as Odie. Now, all my heroes at this point are at 170. Again, making a lot of progression. How are you a whole zone ahead of me? Not sure is the whole soul, but we just moved in the zone this morning. So if you're getting, or if you're very close, Soul, this is the zone. We literally unlocked this. I believe it was late last night, might have been this morning. Went through, we did all of our regular quests. So we actually grinded out our regular quests. And then, of course, we got stuck with the AFK rewards again. So what I do is I hop on here. I grind out everything that I can, trying to make some progression right now. Then we circle back to everything else. Now, of course, it being Sunday, all of the towers are up. This is the time where you guys have to farm and farm real hard, because anytime that all of those towers are up, switching heroes in the resonance, making sure you're actually building them out and making progression, because again, we are farming for essence. We are looking for essence, and we continue this time and time and time again. I'm hoping to get some lucky summons in here. What is going on, Ami? Thank you for joining us for kind of the late minute live stream. Like I was saying, I was going to hop on here, wanted to make some more progression in here. Very easy to do it with you guys if you have questions. And again, this is the way that I do it. Now, the reason for this specifically, if I come in and I farm my AFK stages, I can get a lot more rewards for the entire time that I'm on here streaming. So if we stream for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it may be, I can actually go through making considerable amount of progression just in that time frame, meaning that we're going to get more resources essentially when this does reset, when we're going through the time, the AFK rewards. I cannot stress it enough how absolutely vital the AFK stage progression is. This not only allows you to progress in the main game, so going through the chapter progression, but also allows you to build out your heroes. It's kind of crazy. Finally, I can see you online, mate. Huge fan. Oh, thank you, Dennis. And I think, yeah, and again, some of the names, they're kind of hard to see. I wish I could make it a little bit bigger in YouTube, but that's okay. Thank you for joining us for the stream. Again, we're going to do some summons in here. I picked up a couple more scrolls. Now, most of you know, if you've been following me in AFK Arena, I actually go through and we budget for AFK Arena. I'm doing the exact same thing for AFK Journey. So unfortunately, at this point, we've actually split what we put into both games. So still staying around that $100 budget, little less than $100. We bought some of the the monthly cards that we have here. And then we also did pick one additional pack, which gave us some resources out of here. So again, grinding this game out. And honestly, Let me know what you guys think, just for the simple fact of the grind of this game. A lot of players very impressed with the gameplay. They're liking it a lot. A lot of players very disappointed with how hard it is to get heroes in this game, and I feel that exact pain. And it also feels like, looking at Marilee, looking at Corinne, Cecilia, looking at a lot of heroes, they really unlock a little bit later, kind of than I had thought. They're actually getting to the point where when you start getting the exclusive items, it is the game changer. It's the game changer when it comes to the damage that the heroes are putting out. And I'm not quite at that point yet. Now, I know D2 is just crushing it. He's actually at AFK stage 1000 as of today during the live stream. He was at AFK stage 1000, so absolutely crushing it. Always join when I can. Love listening to you. Hope to know to get some more about the game. Yeah, like I said, guys, if you got questions, drop them in there, because we're going to farm this out. Then I'm going to swap to some summons. Then I'm going to swap to essentially the towers. We're going to do our rotation through the arena, which arena teams on this. And of course, most of you know that we are on server number 1. So the Guild Vanguard is on server number 1. This is where we started. And of course, this is where we're going to remain. Now, with that being said, server number 1 also has a considerable amount of big, large whales within here, making it a lot more difficult. Now, I believe we're already like 300 or 400 servers into AFK Journey. So it's kind of crazy how fast this game has been growing. And honestly, the pace of it is insane with how many downloads they have been having. The grind isn't bad, as long-winded, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where a lot of players are kind of talking about it, Soul. The grind isn't too bad, but as an AFK game, there's a lot of time that you can kind of dedicate to AFK Journey, which again is kind of what a lot of players are doing. There's a absorbent amount of time if you really want to sit here and play this. Now, of course, playing this not in the AFK aspect, kind of what it was created, but going into here and grinding, because again, looking at the progression that some players have made, looking at the progression that D2 made, he's putting about an hour to a day into AFK Journey, which again, I unfortunately at this point don't have that much time, but that is where the progression is being made. And that is where I feel like really the difference between players that are doing exceptionally well and making a lot of progression right now and those that are kind of struggling is just the grind factor of this game. Try Team Brutus, Antandra, Coco, Cecilia, and Rowan. I will definitely try it, Dennis. Let me see where we're getting to the point. I want to hit kind of a stopping point. Now, of course, with this team, it's easy with the Hand of Resonance, because I am at level 170 for everybody across the board. And this is probably one of the absolute biggest loves for AFK Journey, is not having to swap signature items, not having to swap, or essentially not having to swap artifacts, not having to swap gear, not having to do any of the BS that just literally takes minute micro time to get it done. I love that all of my gear goes on everyone, and also that all of my essentially artifacts are on everyone, and I don't have to deal with any of that. I am free to play, and at 8:15, didn't push much more. Free to play. Yeah, 8:15 is good. Again, we're on 766, and I feel like we should be able to go. So what I do, like we were saying, go through the AFK stages. Once I get through pretty much everything, going through the towers, going through the arena, going through, you know, all of our battles, then I make my way through the open world map, which again, not a huge fan of, but it is still pretty cool how they built it. So I go through the open world map, and then once I go through that open world map, I circle back before I log off of AFK Journey, but I do a literal full circle. When I circle around, I go right back into the AFK stages. I start with the AFK stages, I finish with the AFK stages, and I feel like that makes a really big difference. Like I said, you're making a lot of progression kind of both ways, which is what we're looking to do. Now, of course, Odie in here, pretty broken with the insta-kill. We've kind of said this from the beginning. When you look at Odie and the insta-kill, it is pretty broken. So let's see. So Brutus, Antandra, Coco, Cecilia, and Rowan. Let me drop them in. So let's take these out. So we'll do Brutus and Antandra. So mainly Maulers in here. So Brutus, which again, look at that. Brutus, Antandra, neither of them really built very much. Coco's in here What do we got? Cecilia and Rowan. So of course we're going Greyborn with Cecilia, and we're going support or light bears with Rowan. And as you can see, guys, my team's a little slacking in here for what we got. Let me split. I guess let me split in here. Now again, this game also very, very, very dependent on the heroes you have built. That's another part that I really stress in here is if I had these heroes probably a lot higher, it would be much easier to go through here. The higher heroes you have built, the more essentially that you put into these heroes and their progression, the faster, the easier this game gets based on the heroes that you have built. What, you don't use Cecilia? I do every now and then. So Cecilia I used for the whole beginning. Unfortunately, as you can see right here, I have literally haven't gotten copies of Cecilia for a very, very big extended amount of time, which I don't know why I'm having so many difficulties and it's so hard to actually get additional copies of Cecilia. I've even been building her out. If I have the chance to get the S heroes, I have been getting out Cecilia there as well. Again, Cecilia has been my struggle. Hurricane, absolutely. Cecilia has been the struggle. And even looking, guys, Entendre I don't have built. Brutus I don't have built. Coco, I've gotten lucky with some copies. But big picture, very difficult to get through without having them built. And that's the big thing to grind it. Because I know Mr. Carlisle is huge within here. But see, as you can see, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. Now, the gear has been getting there. Let's do some summons and see what we can do. But before I do, AFK rewards. Now, there was a question about buying these out. Now, my opinion, I am buying these out again because we need the hero essence. We have been focused on the hero essence for an absorbent amount of time. Even getting some loot in here. If we get some gear in here and we recycle it, it is what it is, guys. But I have been buying again and kind of building these out as much as possible to try to farm essentially this resonating haul as much as we can. Now, looking at our inventory, we got a couple of these. Boom. Who did we get? All right, we got Odie, which is good. The rest of the heroes short of the tower don't really use very much. So overall, not a really good pull in there. But we are building. Again, it's very, very slow with the grind in here. Let's see. So we got Rogue right there. Again, nothing else that we're going to be able to upgrade. I'm going to save everything else. Let's go ahead and just recycle. 9 more of those. I could use these, but overall, going up 5 levels, not going to make a big difference to stay pretty much where we're at. Game doesn't have enough content. We'll quit for a while. So, Ricky, that's a question that we've seen a lot. So the big thing with that is the content. So we know that there is content coming with the seasons, which I feel like is going to be massive. With the Song of Strife right here, this is going to unlock an entire new zone, which again, that was my worry. And that's the same problem that we had if you ever played Dislight. That was the problem we had, Ricky, was Dislight ran out of content. There was nothing to do. There was nothing even when it came to kind of endgame content. It was very, very time consuming and there wasn't enough content. So again, if you have the whale players, the really, really large, spenders that are pushing content right to the end, pushing the envelope, getting to the end, and there's nothing to do, they're going to get stuck and the game is going to die out. Is this the pay to win? Kind of. I would say kind of. Even now, we're less than $100 spent in here. Again, we bought some of the monthly cards. I bought one of the packs within the trolley. And that's all we built or all that we've bought out of here. So again, pay to win, I would really caution to say pay to win. Just because, again, are we a baby dolphin in a game of whales that already have, fully 2-star, 3-star, 4-star Celestials and Hypos? Yes, this is the pay to win. Max out on Dislight and quit. Yep, and that's it. That is my thought, Ricky. That is the problem, and that was the reason why I left Dislight as well. Really grinding in there, and it was a pretty grind with Dislight, is we got to a point where there was no more progression, and we weren't making progression, and really it was very, very slow. And then you hit a wall where you're building up heroes a little bit, but overall it was kind of a wall. Now, of course, we got one copy already of Florabelle. Now, Florabelle, we're going to go ahead. Boom. I'm going to use my diamonds in here. Hoping to see some S heroes, but I'm also okay with the A heroes. If we get some additional copies in here, I'm okay. And there we go. Got a purple, which is a copy of... Now, Viper, we've gotten a lot of copies in. Now, again, the rest of the diamonds we're going to save. So recruitment, we have what, 49 more. We have 35 scrolls. Again, wish list wise, we're still looking for Vela and a couple other heroes out of here. Cecilia and Thorin still looking for. But the primary ones that we're looking for, Marilee, Corinne, we're looking for Odie, we're looking for Coco. Because even when you look at the rest of these, not a huge difference when you're building them up. And of course, we want to get them up to Supreme. We want to get them up even a little bit higher if we can. But even looking here at the S heroes, these are the ones to primarily build, even looking at the ones here. Now, Cassidy, we built up a little bit, but again, I want to really focus on building a few of these out kind of on a regular basis. Even looking here at Brianne and looking at Granny, not a huge driving force. Now, of course, Granny being built up a little bit more just because of the Wilder Tower might make a big difference. And even here, I have Igor. And again, Igor, Cecilia, or looking at Thorin. I'm going to build these two out first, and then we'll circle back for Igor. And then the epic recruitment, the same. We are looking for, and I'm still looking for copies of Thorin. And then, of course, the primary A-level heroes that we're looking for as well, right in here to continue to build those ones. So let's see if we can get lucky with some of these summons in here. And I'm hoping, again, that we see the gold. I got tired of AFK Arena. This game really huge with the new season coming. Yeah, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 copies in there. Not too bad. Odie, we got. The rest of those, not really used a ton, but that's okay. I will absolutely take it. Boom. 3 more right in there. Let's see who we get. There we go. We got Marilee and we got Coco. Very nice pull right there. Now, of course, Marilee and Corinne are the two that we're looking to build out. There's another copy of Odie. Now, I think we need 20 copies of Odie. If I remember correctly, I think we need 20 in its entirety. Let's go ahead. Using a couple diamonds here, but that's okay. Because again, guys, getting heroes in this game has been an absolute challenge. Again, 2 more Wilders, not really going to use very much, but that's okay. So we got a couple more. Now 12 more. Now remember, with our A-listers in here, we will get 5 copies of the A-listers in here. And then, of course, Thorin, we need more copies as a tank. Maybe this is going to be good. Maybe it's going to be kind of for not. But I'm hoping the glow. Let's see if we can get the glow, which 3 purples right there. Boom, boom, boom. We know we're not going to get the primary ones, but this is going to give us a gold. And it is just, there it is, the gold right in the back. So we get Coco. 5 more copies of Coco. I will take it. Now, I went through and I switched these out, and we got incredibly lucky last time with a lot of the pulls because the purples essentially are going to give us heroes that we're not really focused on. But again, I did a couple pulls, and we got lucky with these heroes. And I know D2 and a couple other players talked about swapping out the heroes. But I want to see if we can essentially get lucky. And I'm hoping it'll let us skip. I don't know why you just can't set this to skip. I still don't understand it. It'll get to a point where they're like, hey, you've skipped it quite a few times today. Do you want to skip it? There we go. Yes, I want to skip it. Another Viper copy. Omnicorn. Omnicorn, come on. Can we get somebody else? That is it. So we are, what, 4 away. Very, very close to getting that. But that gave us a lot of heroes. Not really a huge amount for the ones that we're looking for. Then, of course, the Stargazer we don't use for anything, which is super sad. That we don't have the ability, or that we're not getting a lot of heroes out of there. It's kind of sad. I hope they make an event like they do in AFK Arena where you can select a free hero or emblems. And for doing so, yeah, they definitely need something cracking. Again, because it seems like for a majority of players, it's been very, very difficult essentially to make progression. And I know there's been a lot of players that have kind of been stuck within AFK Journey just because it is a little bit different. Now, unlocking hero focuses, I feel like that is going to be big to go ahead and make progression. Increases the haste during battle. Now, of course, the essence to level these up were really, again, kind of lacking in there. But looking at Marilee, we just need a couple more copies. Even looking at Corinne, again, 7 of 12 in there. And then a few looking even, and as you can see, we've been swapping out some of these heroes, but even looking at Thorin, haven't been lucky with copies. we've been very, very lacking trying to get him up to Mythic Plus so we can actually build him up again a little bit further. Now, the event, of course, we have the Primal Lord that's up. You have to farm the Primal Lord, and you have to farm the Primal Lord every single day. Some of them, especially the first iteration, are very, very fast, even when you go through, because the Primal Lords just give you an insane amount of loot. That is very, very well known. When we got the Primal Lords, when they were introduced, they give a lot of loot in here because, of course, they increase the duration. I know when you look at the loot itself. So within 8 days, you can see we do get some really good equipment chests in here. But as players are getting stronger, we're actually seeing the Primal Lords drop faster and faster, which is really cool to see. And then, of course, getting the loot out of here. Now, I don't know who all we're running in here, even looking at the range DPS. Again, these are 3 that we've been kind of running. So I'm going to drop those same 3 in there and see exactly what we can do looking at OD, Cecile, and Marilee. Now, I've been going in here, and the team that I used was our regular boss killing team. So I tried Rainier in here, didn't really work super well, but having Thorin in here and then having Smokey, but going in here, dropping Odie in here and putting Cecilia in here, I think is going to work pretty well. And see if there's a different, just based on heroes. So if there's a different formation that you guys are seeing or one that you guys think of, definitely let me know. I got stuck in the lab as free to play without 2 mythic heroes. Yes, I got there as well. So I hit floor 10, might have been 10, 11. Maybe after this one, I can go through and do some of the floors, but we've been stuck just like we've seen before. Finally got this artifact to 10, which is really cool. Again, daily progression, guys. Little by little, we've been going in here. We've been making some pretty good progression, and it just takes time, like we were kind of saying. It does take time. It takes time to farm. And I think we've been getting 8 chests out of here, maybe 8 to 10 chests out of here. And I love all the heroes on the side. Now, this is how bosses should be done. We talked about this when it came to AFK Arena. This is how guild bosses should be done. This is how Riz and Soren should be done. Absolutely 100%. I love how these bosses work. I love how they kind of built these out. In my opinion, guys, and let me know in the comments if you think this is the way the guild bosses should be done. If you've played Idle Heroes, if you've played a couple other games, the bosses are cumulative, similar to what we see here. You have a guild, or you have, an entire group of individuals that are fighting to essentially kill out one boss, which I like how it is. They should make more rewards for lab. Yes. So one big thing, Dennis, is with the lab, it's very, very time consuming. That is another thing that I don't like at all, is the time consumption of things like the lab. And I'm wondering if we just spread these out a little bit more, just kind of around Odie. Of course, Marilee is going to hop everywhere. But overall, the lab for the time reward, same with the honor duel. So if you guys are going in there and if you're doing the honor duel, it is such a massive time consumption. It drives me crazy because, of course, the rewards aren't that good coming out of there. Have to do it to stay up with progression, make a little bit more essentially going through, but I don't feel like the rewards are there. And again, I feel like the time return is where you have to look, where if you're grinding the AFK rewards, if you're grinding the AFK levels, it's going to make a much larger impact than a lot of players that are going through and grinding out a bunch of different game modes or grinding out, the lab. It's very hard. Bosses are perfect. I have my own guild. Yeah, I like the bosses. Again, I feel like it's very, very close to where we were. So we're getting 8 every time, which again, that is giving us the ability to get some more essence out of here. This is what we're farming in our entirety. And of course, the red chests. Let's see if we can actually pick up anything for the final one. I'm top 20 an hour duel need rewards. Yeah, again, honor duels is another place, guys, that it is a grind. And you can see here, we're what, 6, 7, about 800 short from building it up. And then, of course, Marilee and looking at Corinne, if we can get them built up a little bit further for especially Marilee, this is huge when it comes to stacking, essentially stacking damage that she's doing. This is going to be pretty broken with Marilee. And then, of course, same thing with Corinne. This is really good because, of course, they deal true damage, amplifying the damage that these heroes are doing, not only in the boss fights, but also within the Dream Realm. Again, it's the time and effort going in here. Honor duels, I tried, Dennis. I went through, farmed out quite a bit. It was very difficult. So I'm going to drop Cecilia out of here. And I'm thinking, you know what? Let's go in with Corinne. I'm going to try Corinne in here and see if we do a little bit better. Now, of course, we know Odie is magic damage. We know Marilee is physical damage. Corinne is physical damage. But I'm wondering if with Corinne, we might be able to drive it a little bit more because of the shielding aspect that he provides. Maybe. We'll have to see what it looks like. Again, we're getting 8 chests every time. Not the best in slot, but having these heroes built up just a little bit more, I feel like would make all the difference with being able to make progression. I feel like, again, it's kind of a pretty big grind in here with the teams. And of course, just based on the heroes that you have built, where you have them built to, makes a big difference. Let's see if we can hit 9. Again, I think maybe last time that's where we were landing right at 9. Because of course, 8, he does this AoE right here. Boom. That AoE goes off. And then we usually see most everyone die. There you go. So we got 9. Almost got 10. We almost got to 10. So Corinne making a big difference. This is the group that I ran last time, was running with Corinne. Again, damage this round. We got 9 chests, giving us a little bit more essence, but it's still kind of a drive. What's going on, Bobo? Thanks for joining us for the Journey live stream. Again, I knew I was going to hop in here. I knew I had some time to go ahead and play and kind of grind this out a little bit. Now, of course, same thing with guilds. Guilds, you have to be in a guild. You have to be firing up and doing all of your battle drills nonstop, guys. You can see we've actually been crushing through here. Let's see, normal attacks with crit and defense, physical defense and magic at the start of battle. Each ally gains 600 energy and 40 haste. Oh, I'm thinking, you know what? Let's go for the higher attack. And the reason I'm thinking that, let's go ahead and pick that one up. Now here, we're going to have to drive through and actually take this one out. But we've been doing pretty well. Now, loot-wise, I don't have any keys, but travel or the reputation rewards, again, we've been kind of farming this out. I don't think I have anything left in the battle drills, but you can see we've been making progression in here, and I got to wait till we get a little bit more stamina in there. And then, of course, guys, this is huge to go in here, get the rewards out of here. But, of course, when it comes to the guild itself, going through the Emporium, this is the point when you're looking at your letters right here, when you look at your stellar summons. And then, of course, we're 18 of 30 to get some more copies of Rainier. It just takes a long time. You are at 4.6. Geez, I'm still at 1.5. Grinding it out. And again, guys, we put probably, I would have to say 20, 40, probably about 80 bucks. I'd probably say about 80 bucks in here. And I know, again, D2 is already coming up on, I believe, 8 or 9, if I remember. But again, grinding this out and going through zone by zone. So I've cleared out every single zone that we've actually been in. Even when you scroll out a little bit further, you can see every single zone we have kind of grind through. We just got into this zone today. So even moving through here, I've been systematically going through, looking at exactly where our battles are. And you can see, so this is where we entered. We cleaned out this way, got all the way through, and just going through and literally farming these out in a regular. So there you go, 4.5 million free to play. Which team do I use for drills? So I use kind of the same ones that I have. And again, based on the heroes that I have, is I run, I usually run 3 tanks to see what I have in there. And then I run 2 support. So 1 support in each team. Shielding aspects. So again, looking at our mythic heroes, I do really put 1 team in there. If I run Thorin, I don't run 2 tanks. The other team, I run 2 tanks with 1 support. Either way, is Floribel worth investing? So far, players have been saying that Floribel is very, very strong. Personally, I haven't tested Floribel out because we only have 1 copy right here at this time. So I can't speak to how strong Floribel is. Guys, if anyone in chat has built out Floribel, let me know essentially where she's working or how well she's working. Because that is an absolute great question to how absolutely well is Floribel working. Again, I'm not going to give the recommendation without having the hero, without being able to test the hero. But if you have Floribel built out, I've seen a couple videos from some larger players that just literally bought Floribel out very quickly. And it's worked incredibly well. I would say definitely worked pretty well in there. But let's go ahead and swap out some of our tanks. Again, I like Smokey in here as much as I like Rowan. Running double support in here does work very, very well. Smokey, I have to get up to Mythic Plus as well as, geez, just about every other hero. Now, I ran Marilee in here, also running Corinne kind of as an off-tank shielding, can work in formations. And if I'm not able to make progression, I've literally just been swapping and changing out heroes in here, which makes a big difference. Being able to, again, kind of grind out all of these stages, getting the most out of everything that we can do to make progression. And as you can see, we just got wrecked right there. This is where, honestly, my two tanks, and I want to put my regular team in here. So actually the regular team that I run is running these two. So these are my two tanks. Again, the crowd control from Temsia works incredibly well. Odie in the back. And then I go back from Coco if I'm having or struggling essentially with support, or I run Marilee in here. Those are the ones that I've been really driving or building. Thorin, of course, again. Oh, I need Thorin built up higher. But the insta-kill that we have from Odie is, again, pretty broken. Even there, boom, we get through that target. Even there, crowd control in the back, getting through that target. Works easy. Even dropping out Coco. Marilee, of course, is going to allow essentially Odie to kill the target out much faster. But zone by zone, guys, we have been farming up all of our chests. We've been farming up everything. And it really does make a big difference. So solo Crucible, what is this one? Allies will store base counterattack damage immediately. This, looking at like a Temsia, I think this is going to work in here because of the counterattack aspect. So she literally just goes back and forth and heals. Every turn she does heals, which again is kind of broken on the counterattack, but it's pretty cool to see. Temsia is a hero. Of course, this is not one of the original heroes. This was a hero that we actually got released quite a bit further into AFK Journey, but works incredibly well. Now, of course, if you played the PTR, if you played the, when the game came out, boom, got some more diamonds out of there. But a lot of the heroes weren't introduced originally, which was a little bit more difficult to get through. I use Odie for Realm, nothing else. So the big thing is the insta-kill. That's the big thing, Dennis, is when you look, he puts a bar on top of their head. There it is. Boom. Insta-kill, insta-kill. When he used the ultimate ability, this is the reason why Odie puts out not only so much damage, is the insta-kill ability, because even if a hero, let's say, is 3/4 of the way dead, the insta-kill in there is going to kill them. And again, I don't think it counts on the meters, but with the insta-kill, you can literally just one-shot whoever is the insta-kill in there, which this is what, Crystal Defense or Defense. Again, this is Crystal's in the middle. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. Let's drop. We're going to need someone on the backside of this. Let's put. Now, Odie, well, honestly, looking here with Smokey and Mirky, Smokey can usually keep the Crystal alive just through healing. That's usually, and again, insta-kill. You can see how fast we can burn these down. Marilee jumping all over the place, but Odie can, or excuse me, Smokey and Mirky can usually keep the Crystal alive the whole entire time, just based on the build, just based on the ability to aroma everything in there. Now, of course, Cecilia is good for this because of the crowd control aspect. Works really well. And I feel like this is another zone that we're going to go ahead and clean through, pick up all of our loot, and then we're just going to be stuck again. And this is where, again, a lot of players are getting stuck in a bunch of different content for this game because they don't have the heroes built or they're not doing enough damage. But some of the things you have to remember is you do have the ability to do the assisted battles. Now, it's funny because I did an assisted battle and players were like, oh, I never knew you could do that. I didn't know either. There was actually someone who was during the live stream that said you can go ahead and if you're having a lot of difficulty with battles, you can pick up or you can get help with assisted battles, which does make it a lot easier. It really did make it a lot easier. Now, of course, in here, running the combination with our double support, Coco's strong. Coco's another one, guys, that I feel like a lot of players, including myself, really underestimated when it came to Coco and when it came to essentially the survivability that Coco can give to heroes. And again, there's our little line right there. Oh, Odie went down, but that's our little line that they can actually, and look at this. MC is going to go back and forth and just kill everybody and then crowd control Thorin over here, which is essentially what's going to happen. Bouncing back and forth. And of course, Timsia heals herself over and over and over. It's kind of crazy. It's very cool. Again, crowd control, turn, crowd control, getting heals the whole time, just crowd controlling, which is kind of crazy. I like the idea of helping people and doing battles together. The corrupted creature. Yes. So most of you know when I came out here, the open world exploration, I'm not a huge fan of. I've said this before. I am not a very, very big fan of the open world exploration. There's been a couple games. We played Dragon Air for a while, which was the exact same. They kind of had the open world exploration. I don't even know if we're going to be able to. I didn't see. I think we're just relying on Mr. Carlisle to kill everybody here, is what I'm assuming. Mr. Carlisle is pretty broken when it comes to the ability to crowd control. And then, of course, coupled with the crowd control that we're seeing with artifacts, and then crowd control with like a Temsia, where, again, you have another crowd control aspect. It's pretty broken that you can almost just, kind of like AFK Arena, you can kind of crowd control lock a lot of these teams down, making it very easy to get through content. Just because, again, you can lock down different teams pretty easily. Even here, boom, turned around to a stun. Trigger the artifact, turned around to a stun. And again, Temsia coming back to a stun. It's really interesting to see the crowd control aspect. Again, you can grind through a lot of this just based on the heroes that you're running. Even if you have the heroes not built out quite as high, again, you can go through here and just crowd control for a lot of these. We don't get stuck past 130. It's rather easy. I open 3 regions for fun. Oh, you don't get stuck past 130? I don't know. It depends on the player, honestly. Because again, there's a lot of players that are stuck and that are pretty well stuck in a lot of this game. And unfortunately, that's been kind of the case, that they have been stuck. And that's, again, a lot of feedback that I get from different players is that summons have been very hard. And essentially with summons being a lot more difficult, I think we're going to die in this one. But with summons being a lot more difficult, they haven't had the ability to essentially go through there and make progression as fast as they wanted to. Now I'm thinking in this one, let's wait till he comes over. Oh, I don't know if he's not going to come close enough. We're going to have to use the ultimate ability. I'm almost wondering if we do it here. Put him right in the wall. Look at that. Again, I think Mr. Carlisle is going to die too quick. And of course, if you guys are unaware with the tactical drills, is if you lose this 2 or 3 times, I think we have to do Mr. Carlisle in the back, essentially to put the hero in the back. Let me see. And I'm thinking, oh, see, too far away. I think we're going to have to drop Mr. Carlisle over here to drag this mob essentially over here, which doesn't make a big difference because after 3 times, I believe it's 3 with the tactical drill, you can go at, it'll give you the ability to just do it. Use mechanics wisely. The assist has been unlocked. You can just assist. It does it for you. Like I was saying, back left. No, just the other side. There we go. Now, boom. You can blow them both up. Mr. Carlisle didn't get hit. That's what I was thinking. Left side. I was going to put it a little bit further back. But there we go. Now, essentially, Cecilia is going to kill before. There we go. Yeah, so if you're having a problem with tactical drills, you can go through here. And again, you can get the assist on there. If you're having problems with just regular combat, again, you can have other players assist you, which I love about this game. It's very cool. But again, we're 6% what already through here. These are hard enemies. Difficult enemies based on level. So I feel like 199, we're probably going to get absolutely run over in here. Just based on where we're at. Now, of course, yeah, might take a little bit more time. Again, just kind of based on levels. We're going to have to see if we can get some of this done. And of course, they warn us it's going to be difficult enemies. But essentially what I do here is if it's going to be too difficult, and you'll notice them when they're actually in red. Right here, they're all in red, level 200. Which means it's going to be a little bit more difficult to go through, is we can circle back. I can clear out my last, 3 camps here, get a couple chests, and essentially just go through, circle back, clean out the rest of this, and then get ready to go through this new area, which again, we need another 20, 30, 35? Another 35 levels or 25 levels, essentially to go through there. I like the puzzles. I wish they had more. I wish they had a game mode. So similar to what we see with AFK Arena, with like some of the farming game modes or some of the Candy Crush, I wish there were more of the puzzles that gave us rewards. Maybe that gave us summons. I think it would be really cool to see if they added a little bit more in there as far as that notion, because I feel like the puzzles are pretty easy. That is part of kind of where I get stuck, is I feel like some of them, especially, I know I did one earlier today that was literally just click the button, and that was it. I think if they made the puzzles a little bit more complex, I know you can go to YouTube, I know you can go to the internet, find the answer to the puzzles, but I feel like if they added just the complexity of the puzzles, it would be a lot cooler to see, because I feel like a lot of them are pretty easy. And again, these are 200 plus at this point. I feel like, again, it's going to tell us the exact same. These are going to be very, very difficult, so it didn't even go ahead and have me attack. Now, of course, here we went through, I did, again, going through, I just went through and farmed up all of our regulars, or all the regular progression that we made. Elite Challenge. This one might be hard, but we went through, made all of our main progression, and then kind of went through there. Yeah, I feel like they need a game mode. They need something in there that essentially would just, again, let us go through and do puzzles. It would be interesting. It'd be a lot of fun. Here comes the insta-kill. Oh, Odie was close to the insta-kill. And of course, looking here, we just got steamrolled by the boss. Let's spread these out a little bit. Makes a big difference. And again, we could do the shielding aspect. Yeah, let's spread these out just a little bit. And of course, you can see, kind of like Temsia, they kind of steamroll a certain way. Boom. So being able to keep the target up just a little bit further. Even Temsia, you can see right in the back row, starting to just really take down all of those targets. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, 3 goes down, just like that. We go ahead and collect up our treasure, getting a little bit more resources. Then, of course, the hollow stones. And I believe, again, I think that is all. We don't have anything up here, do we? Just kind of looking at the map and kind of where we can voyage. So we have, what, 2 more chests? I think that's it. 2 more chests, which again are both high difficulty, which means that we're stuck with the campaign progression again. This is kind of what I do, move to a new zone, get stuck with progression, but we still do have the towers. And of course, getting a couple more copies of a few key heroes makes a really big difference when it comes to, again, essentially the speed we're making progression. Makes a big difference. Makes it really a game-changing difference to go through there. Now, of course, let's see if we can get through Thorin. Come on, Thorin's dead. Boom, there we go. Target 2 goes down. Thorin, of course, back to life. But crowd control with Odie. Odie one-shots. Boom, one-shot. That's why I love Odie, Dennis. And that's exactly it. You can see Odie just one-shot, essentially 4 targets within there. but stuck at this point again, short of going into the towers. And this is the point where battle mode, yep, since we can grind out the towers and all of the levels, I think are the same except one. I think we have one hero at 170. So let's drop out. Well, Rowan's good in there. And of course, we have Cassidy in here. We have Merrily. Merrily will keep back here. Let's see what we can do. What about titles and guild levels? I own... What's going on, Papa? Thanks for joining us for the stream. I own a guild. Yeah, I have the guild too. D2 and I started a guild on here, which again, it's a lot of fun. Not super pay to win, not heavy, pushing progression. But even in here, guys, these we need like crazy. Title Essence, gonna make a really big difference in here. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get Vela out of here. Now, a lot of players were saying that was a pretty big mistake, not picking up some copies of Vela. But overall, even there, Rowan just got interrupted. But we're going to have to go back. We're going to have to see exactly how we can do with the summons to make progression. But again, I farm up some of the tower. We go through all of the different towers. We could even go through and level up some of our equipment, trying to get through 55, making progression. And again, we have one. And if you don't know, you can do the Hand of Resonance right here. So we know Merrily, we're looking for Wilders in here. So we got to pick out someone who is good, which is usually just right here. I have Iran again, wasn't running Granny in here, which I might have to change out. I might have to change that up a little bit, just having Granny a little bit higher. Now, of course, Arden very strong as well. But running Iran in here makes a big difference, guys. He's a really good hero. I feel like, again, kind of having him built out a little bit more, but that crowd control aspect that he brings. And then, of course, Arden with the crowd control as well, getting through some of these targets. It's not threat of the world if you skip Vela for some extra normal banner summons. Yeah, and that's what I thought. So the big reason, of course, was Vela being in the rate up very early. I didn't want to just devote all of the diamonds that we were earning into Vela. Which again, even a lot of players were saying earlier game that Vela was very, very important when it came to the PvP aspect, which for me personally, if you follow AFK Arena, I really don't PvP a ton. I know arenas in this game are a lot more important than AFK Arena, but overall, and there we go, another 30 title essence. We'll farm these out as much as we can. And this is, again, the theory or how the AFK games work. We just go in a circle, we go in a circle, we go in a circle. We make progression on a regular basis. We get stuck where we do, essentially not being able to grind this out for hours. And I don't put a tremendous amount of time into it. That's the other big thing, guys, is I might devote 30 minutes on here, maybe 30 minutes, usually when I'm at lunch. I'll come in here and I'll play for a little bit, but overall, boom, Thorin just killed everybody, guys. Retaliation, as we've seen before, very strong. Still got it done, though. Still got it done. And Wilders, crazy enough, probably arguably the weakest faction within AFK Journey, which even here, I mean, we could drop out Brion, we could drop in support. Yeah, a lot of crowd control, a lot of support. Now, of course, he's going to throw out his cart. There's the little cart kind of rolling around. And honestly, trying to keep Iran alive, not going to be able to in this one. And I got to get Granny built up a little bit further. I think that's going to make a big difference. But maybe putting in Damien was a mistake in here. Let's see. We'll try it out one more time. And it seems like when they have their... It even gives me the warning, try out a tank hero in your formation. It's like, hey, stupid, drop Granny in there because you need a tank hero in your formation. Let's see if Granny can take some of the damage. I know the crowd control aspect is huge. Again, there's crowd control. Boom. Granny, if we can get the ult, hopefully we're close. There we go. Heowen's got the heal. Boom. Crowd control again. Boom. Crowd control again. Arden, crowd control again. Might have a win here. That's it. If the enemy team can't do anything because you're literally crowd controlling them the entire time, yeah, absolutely a game changer, taking us to floor 58 now. So if we can have Iran at least enough to survive, to get that initial crowd control, And then, of course, get Granny, crowd control. Arden doing the same. Look at it. Just locking down the targets. Big heal right there. I like it. It's cool. The game's fun, guys. If you haven't played, and I know a lot of players that play AFK Arena that are choosing not to play AFK Journey, it's a pretty fun game overall. It really is a pretty fun game. So here we do have our Graveborn. Again, you can see we are ultra limited to what we're seeing here with our Graveborn heroes. Even let's drop out Viper, and that, of course, is the only one we got. But even looking tank-wise, we have one single copy of Igor, so this is sad. I would say probably sad to say the least. I know Thorin's built up a little bit more, but I know Igor, again, not really built up very high. Need more copies of all of these. We have Sylvana, we have Igor. Maybe we can get through here. I'm hoping to get Mr. Carlisle up. There he is. That should be the win. Boom. Being able to make a little bit more progression. And again, as we're getting more levels going through here, as we're continuing to get those title essence, starting to really, really grind. Now, of course, we don't want Igor to be the target of everyone at the beginning. Thorin, I need stronger, though. I do need more on Thorin. And even there, Salazar putting a lot of damage. Mr. Carlisle. If I could get Cecilia up even a little bit further, probably would make a really big difference because Mr. Carlisle just got crushed. And Igor, honestly, is pretty good. I know D2 sent me a video of Igor today, and Igor was just absolutely dominating. Even though he does have him built up very, very high, Igor was just crushing it. Man, just getting wrecked in here, which is crazy. Yes. Absolutely agree with you, Papa. Igor is a nightmare to fight. If you've done the honor duel, Igor is, again, just kind of a very, very big nightmare to fight within this game. But you know what? If you're using him, I like him, and I love exactly how he works, how he's built. I'll take him. I'll take him if I get to use him. I'm okay. If I have to fight him, it kind of stinks. There we go. Gotta stop Smokey over here. Not gonna work, but there we go. Mr. Carlisle pops up, interrupting Smokey. This again is gonna be a defeat to go ahead and close out the towers. And after we did all this, we go back right to our AFK rewards. I wonder if we gotta be a lot closer. Yeah, 1767. We're pretty close. But overall, what do we got out of here? Do we make some more world enemies? And again, we go right back to the AFK rewards and just go in here. We farm and farm this out over and over and over again to get some more essence. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's stream for AFK Journey. Definitely thank you for joining me. It's a really cool game. If you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out and let me know what you think. We're going into, and again, we're going to have to grind out the AFK rewards until we get to the point of essentially being able to make some more progression through here through grinding and being able to essentially unlock the next zone, so on and so forth, continuing with the grind. But again, guys, that is going to do it for the stream for today. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.